quite popular. People need to line up and wait for the seats, so they came here very early in the morning. And you can have a look. I've seen there are so many people. The people are taking their morning tea. And you can see there are more locals rather than the Chinese people. In Panama, there is a long history. We know that most of the servicemen and women are local people, but the dishes here still maintain the Cantonese names. And people order their menu with these Cantonese names, because these are the traditional Chinese dim sum. Although it's quite far from the land of China, but the culture is not far. Because there is the historic story. Panama is famous for the canal. And the first batch of Chinese migrants here devoted to the construction of the canal. So they brought Chinese culture to this country, and you can take a look at this trolley. It's the same as that in Guangdong Province. I'm not sure whether Xiaoming has visited Guangdong and tasted the local morning tea. And do you find it's the same? In Panama, I think what attracts the Chinese the most is the Chinese canteen and the Cantonese restaurants, which are very traditional. You don't find any difference, and you don't find this is for foreign people. Why? It's because there are frequent exchanges of our culture, and the history has been 160 years that Chinese people migrated here, so they also has a tradition of Chinese cuisine here. And now it's around 9:10 in the morning, and it's on weekends, but you can see it's crowded, and people are queuing for the seats here in the Cantonese restaurant. So you can see with more and more cultural exchanges between China and Panama, the Chinese culture has formed a very popular circle in Panama. China and Panama established the diplomatic ties officially last July, but we already had a very long friendship and exchange. After the diplomatic ties establishment, we have more frequent exchanges. And this Chinese restaurant has a history of 45 years, and you can see it maintains the traditional Chinese elements. On the walls are dragon and phoenix. And according to my local friend, these materials are imported from China. And they caved this here. And in this restaurant, we can see different kinds of food. The boss of this restaurant moved here in 1970s. And from the interior design, we can see this Chinese boss is really patriotic. He loves China a lot, so he bought the materials from China. In June 13th, 2017, China and Panama established the diplomatic ties. Since then, we have more frequent changes in terms of the economy, culture, and education. If you often watch our live stream, you may know Hou Jiaqi, our colleague, who is also doing the live stream for you. And she is now on the vessel, and they are traveling across the Panama Canal. And we too are here in the Chinese Canton in Panama. Also want to make you feel it close with Panama. She said this is the fried dumpling. It's also called wonton. And there are also crispy cake. I know the Brazilian name for crispy cake, but these names are the Cantonese ones. For me, a non-Cantonese, I don't know how to pronounce in Cantonese way, so I can only have a guess. But according to local people, they can use the fluent Cantonese to order the food. And the price is quite reasonable. Panama use US dollars. Why? Panama actually has its own currency, but these are only coins. But why they choose US dollars? Because Panama is the hub for international trade. That's also because of the Panama Canal. Panama Canal is also the parameter of the international trade. Every year there are numerous trade being done here. And next week, we will also visit the Panama Canal and offer you more information. We also know that China has a lot of economic and cultural exchange in Panama, and there are expectations. I do apologize, there is a small accident. And now it's resumed. Let's continue our live stream. So you can see the servicemen are so busy walking around because this restaurant is so popular. So sorry for that. And dear viewers from CGTN, we are now doing the live stream in Panama City, and we are now in a Chinese restaurant and doing this live stream for you. And you can see all the seats are full here. Local people are taking the morning tea at 9 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, and they are enjoying their Canton morning tea. Because there is a history of 160 years of Chinese people here, and you can see the food is quite popular. It's been more than 1 year since the establishment of the diplomatic ties between China and Panama, and there are more exchanges between these two countries, especially in cultural field. Foreign Minister Wang Yi visited Panama, and he reviewed the embassy of China to Panama, and also the first Confucius school in Panama. So today we met one of our old friends who is the director of the Confucius school in Panama, Mr. Wu. So let's interview him and let him introduce the development of the cultural exchange between China and Panama. Hello, Mr. Wu. It's quite happy to meet you here. Can you tell something about Canton morning tea? Is it so popular in Panama? And as you are the Panama director of the Confucius School, can you brief us the development of Chinese culture and Mandarin culture here? Last June, we launched this program. And this year, we started the lessons. Apart from the Chinese language, we also teach Chinese culture. And we plan to launch a training course of Chinese food for local people so that to promote China's cuisine and culture. Since last year, we have set 6 teaching places in Panama, and we have more than 400 students. We don't have sufficient teachers, or we will have more lessons. What are the touching points that make you think Panama people really love Chinese culture? We have students from different backgrounds, like the government official or engineers. They are not old. We have one student who is the chief engineer. He has retired, and he comes to our Confucius school every day to learn. People also learn martial art, Tai Chi, and his wife also learn Chinese writing. And we also have students who are local policemen or tour guides or government officials. So currently, we haven't started so many promotions, but we've already attracted a lot of attention from different walks of life. And people want to engage in this training course to learn Chinese language and to exchange culture. Thank you, Director Wu. Thank you for your introduction. And let's come back to our live stream. That is Canton morning tea. Can you also tell us something about today's theme? That is Canton morning tea. Why are there so many Panama people sitting here to enjoy the morning tea? Because Chinese people migrated here more than 160 years ago. They exerted great influence on local development. People love Chinese food. And people pursue Chinese culture, Chinese language. The Chinese people who migrated to Panama are very good at operating the restaurants, especially the Canton food, which is quite similar to local food. Like it's sweet, it's fried, so local people really love it. The 160 years history is not one day. So this is very important and is the characteristic of Chinese culture here. Many people from Panama visited China. They went to Beijing and Shanghai. At first, they thought all the food in China are Canton food. And later on, they found it's different. And they even said the Chinese food in Panama is more delicious. Yes, so this makes Panama people think that Chinese food is Canton food, only Canton food. Yes, but with frequent exchange between our two countries, I think Panama will have more understanding and know more about China and Chinese culture. And Panama grows very rapidly in Latin countries. And we can see the economic competence of Panama ranks the third in Latin America. I have some local friends. They told me that they are amazed at China's speed, and they are looking forward to more opportunities brought by the diplomatic ties of both countries. During our interview just now, Director Wu told us Canton morning tea is very popular locally. At the beginning of today's live stream, we already introduced that more than 300,000 people have a Chinese blood or Chinese origin, and most of them are from Guangdong Province. Because the large portion of Chinese people here are from Guangdong Province, the Canton food is quite popular here. And today we met some old friends. That's by accident, but we think it's quite meaningful if we can have a talk with them. And she's one of my old friends, Miss Lin. Before the diplomatic ties establishment, she is the representative of trade from China to Panama. So you devoted a lot to the development of both ties. What's your feeling? In the past, we don't have embassy to Panama. We only have a bureau office. And in China, we also promoted the tourism and trade in Panama. I'm staying here for 4 years, and I helped the establishment of the embassy. You mentioned that last November, the president of Panama paid a historic visit to China, and that's the first time in history Panama president visited China. So what were the achievements? Pardon? Ms. Lin introduced to us that last November, the president of Panama visited China. And she was the first foreign Latin American leader received by President Xi after the 19th Party Congress. And last November, during his visit to China, both countries signed more than 20 agreements, including trade and canal, tourism. As you were born in Panama, you must have a lot to say. So what are your expectations? As a Chinese born in Panama and also a government official in Panama, I asked what is her expectation to the visit of her President Xi, and she said it's a historic visiting.
Primera vez que un mandatario panameño viaja hacia Beijing y va a ser la primera vez que un mandatario panameño viaja hacia Beijing y va a ser la primera vez que un mandatario chino venga a Panamá.
驻中国的前代表是建交之前前代表处的这个贸易总代表。那么刚才他也提到，对于巴拿马整个。
Just now we interviewed Ms. Ling, who was the chief representative of trade. And she said, it's a great honor to receive President Xi, the leader of the second largest economy in the world. And she's also looking forward to the opportunities in terms of the Belt and Road Initiative so that to benefit both peoples. Yesterday afternoon, we had the honor to interview the director of the business department of Panama, and we also asked about his expectations to President Xi's visit to Panama. He said, as a country with a 4 million population, they are really looking forward to President Xi's visit, as he's the leader of the second largest economy in the world, and people are looking forward to that. And now we can randomly interview some local people, as we know that people are looking forward to President Xi's visit. And we can see some children, they're enjoying the morning tea with their families.
Claro que sí, creo que viene ahora los primeros días de diciembre, ¿no? Y bueno, esperamos que traiga buenas cosas para nuestro país y somos dos, como yo le digo siempre a las personas, somos dos países hermanos que tenemos relación desde el inicio del canal, cuando vinieron los trabajadores chinos acá a trabajar.
¿Y en qué se dedica usted?
Bienes raíces acá en Panamá.
¿Cómo?
Bienes raíces.
¿En qué parte?
En Panamá, en Ciudad de Panamá.
Sí, pero usted, ¿en qué se dedica? ¿Cuál es su profesión?
Bienes raíces, es a Real Estate Company. Nosotros dedicamos a alquiler y venta de propiedades.
呀，这位先生呢，他告诉我他是在做一个工作。
This gentleman told us he is working and he is looking forward to President Xi's visit. He hopes for more frequent changes between China and Panama, no matter in cultural or economic exchanges. Let's interview other people.
Muchas cosas.
Sí,
¿Te gusta?
mucho. Sí.
¿Siempre viene a ese restaurante?
Sí, siempre a Longford.
呀，这位先生呢，他跟我们说哈，他也是经常带家人和
This gentleman told us he often brings their family members here, and today he ordered a siu-mai, shrimp dumplings. And we can see he's really familiar with the Canton names of this food.
¿Usted está enterada de la visita del presidente chino Xi Jinping que va a visitar el país la próxima semana?
No, no sabía.
¿Y qué expectativa tienen ustedes con esa visita? Porque China y Panamá fundaron sus relaciones oficiales en el pasado, pero lograron muchos éxitos a lo largo de ese tiempo, ¿no? Y como ustedes tienen alguna expectativa con la cooperación entre los dos países. ¿Sí?
Disfrutamos mucho de la comida de acá. Esperemos poder seguir teniendo como esa relación con China.
De una forma mejor.
Sí, definitivamente sí.
Ya, perfecto. Muchas gracias. 他说，因为他们从小就是对中国文化也非常的喜爱和熟悉。
She said because when they were kids, they really loved the Chinese culture. So they are happy to know more about China. If there are more opportunities for them to visit China, they will be more than happy. We also know that After the establishment of the diplomatic ties between China and Panama, many of the people here really want to visit China.
武术方面，他们去过中国的很多。
Because by far what they may know about it are the martial art, the food. But once they visit China, they will be surprised, they will be amazed at the culture or the other diversity of China.
Somos de la televisión china y no sé si usted sabe que yo sé que hace 2 días su presidente Pamarera anunció públicamente que la visita del presidente chino Xi Jinping va a regresar el día 2 y 3 de diciembre.
Correcto, sí, sabemos, escuché en las noticias la llegada del presidente de China aquí a Panamá, lo cual sería muy bueno, ¿no?
我刚才先生啊，就是说是
Just now I asked him, we know that 2 days ago, the president of Panama in person released the visit of President Xi on TV.
Esta próxima visita del presidente chino Xi Jinping a su país es un evento histórico después del establecimiento de las relaciones diplomáticas.
Bueno, yo lo evalúo que desde la perspectiva china le está dando una importancia a nuestro país. Entiendo que es por el rol que jugamos a nivel de la región como un hub, transporte marítimo, aéreo y también ferroviario, ¿no?
这位先生说啊，他们也能够感受到呢，中国对于巴拿马经济发展
He said they can feel
这个地理位置的优越性
that China is important to the development of Panama. And as Panama locates in a special place where is the hub of Latin American countries, so he hopes there will be more cooperation in investment and etc. On these tables, we can also see there are also Chinese friends, and we can see this is also the integration of culture. In Canton area, there is also a special name for morning tea. That is tan tea. People regard the morning tea as a relaxation and also leisure.
没问题，没问题。那我们也想在品尝之前呢，我们也想让我们的盛菜老师。
And later on, we will also taste some food. And before that, let's take a look at the crowds here. It's 35 past 9 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, and we can see local people are queuing up, and they are waiting for the Canton morning tea.
那我们现在可以对，要不然的话，我们现在也就先跟观众朋友们告别了，然后我们现在就赶紧去抓紧时间去吃一下。
And now we need to say goodbye to our viewers, and we will grasp time to taste some Canton food. Before we go to the end, we really want to appreciate our viewers from CGTN. We are now at Panama City, and we are in one of the 100 Chinese restaurants. And we can see Panama people start their day with Canton morning tea in the morning. And local people are queuing here. They are waiting for the Canton morning tea. And now it's around 9:30 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. And as we are doing the live stream, we can see people really love Chinese food here. There is 160 plus years history of Chinese culture here. And as President Xi will pay the visit to Panama soon, Panama wants to bring more opportunities to both countries. And they want to play a more important role to China's development and also to contribute to the development of Latin America. Just now, we interviewed some local people, and we can feel that local people are highly concerned and are looking forward to President Xi's visit. So we will be well prepared for President Xi's visit. Thank you for watching. I'm today's reporter Sun Haoming and Liao Junhua, and we will bring you more stories. Hope you can continue watching and focusing on CGTN. Thank you.